A revelation that transformed it all. My son had a wonderful plan to surprise me with a genuine tale of betrayal. 10 years had passed since my divorce, a chapter of my life unlike any other, and in all that time, I had not shared intimacy with anyone. Now, at 45, I had spent each of those years in solitude, until that fateful Tuesday night arrived. That night remains etched in my memory, as I lay in bed, the exhaustion enveloping me like a thick, heavy blanket. Silence enveloped every corner of the house, as it often did, but this time, that tranquil hush was fleeting. A gentle, tentative knock echoed at the door, as if it were unsure of its own presence. As I slowly opened my eyes, I found myself sitting up. In the shadows of the room, an unsettling feeling lingered. Adrian. Mother arrived. Myson's voice, a soft murmur in the shadows. The door creaked open, and Adrian stepped inside. Within, he appeared shy in his sleepwear, yet those were not the pajamas of a child. They now belonged to a young man of 25 years. The look on his face ignited a fierce urge to shield him, but simultaneously, a sense of discomfort washed over me. Rest eludes me, slipping through my fingers like sand. Come here, I beckoned, gesturing to the vacant space beside me on the bed. After a brief pause, he made his way over and nestled beneath the blanket. The bed let out a soft groan under his weight. In that moment, we found ourselves lying side by side, the space between us merely a whisper of distance. Adrian's warmth enveloped the room, a gentle presence that drew everyone in. I made an effort to avert my gaze, yet from the periphery, he was an undeniable presence. He failed to recognize that he had outgrown his childhood. He had blossomed into a young man. His features had taken on a sharper edge, his shoulders had broadened, and that realization left me feeling both embarrassed and bewildered. In that moment, his voice held such fragility that I found myself unable to respond. In that fleeting moment, I extended my hand and gently rested it on his shoulder. In an instant, he pivoted toward me and enveloped me in a warm embrace. The power of his embrace took me by surprise. His arms enveloped me completely, his face hovering near my neck. His heartbeat resonated within me. His breath enveloped me with warmth and steadiness, yet the most astonishing part was how I instinctively mirrored that warmth, embracing him in return. A peculiar flutter stirred within my chest. Adrian's face inched a bit nearer. His breath brushed against my skin, a gentle whisper that danced from toe to neck at times. It's simply overwhelming, he murmured softly. In that moment, I softly declared my presence. My presence is ever constant. Yet, deep within, I found no comfort. My heart raced, and I found myself lost in the depths of an overwhelming war, struggling to grasp its weight and significance. In Adrian's actions, there was a certain purity, indeed. Yet, his embrace enveloped me more snugly than I had envisioned, his warmth radiating closer than I had ever anticipated. Thank you, dear mother, he whispered softly. His eyes gently closed, and at last, his breathing slowed, and he drifted into slumber, yet I remained wide awake, lying there in perfect stillness. A single question danced through my thoughts. What in the world? It all unfolded just this evening. There was an undeniable closeness in the way Adrian embraced me, and what troubled me even more was my inability to simply dismiss it. As the first light of dawn broke, Adrian remained lost in the embrace of slumber. The first rays of sunlight danced across his face, and I found my gaze lingering on him. He appeared untouched by the world, yet within me, a storm of confusion raged. I leaned my head against the pillow, inhaling deeply as I settled into the moment. I required some moments to unravel the mysteries of what transpired last night. Yet, one thing was certain, this was not merely another night of sorrow. As the sunlight gently seeped into my room, it slowly roused me from my slumber in that enchanting moment. I came to understand that I was still burdened by the emotions that had danced within me throughout the night. Adrian remained, lost in the depths of slumber. With a gentle resolve, I rose from my slumber and made my way to the kitchen. I sought a moment of solitude, yearning to craft something quietly, ensuring he remained undisturbed. Adrian had a peculiar habit of rising late each morning, as if the sun itself conspired to keep him in slumber. Yet, on this day, it understood that I needed to take action to soothe the restlessness within. As I stirred within, grappling with the echoes of the night before, I began to collect the elements needed for pancakes. Moments passed and soon, Adrian started to awaken. I caught a glimpse of him, peeking out from behind the door, his eyes still half closed, as if he were caught in a dream, lingering between the realms of sleep and wakefulness. In a state of mourning, he spoke, yet an unusual quality lingered in his voice. His voice carried a weight of weariness, yet it was laced with caution. "Grieving, dear one." I responded, my gaze fixed upon him. I endeavored to present myself as if everything were perfectly ordinary. As I flipped the pancakes, I sensed Audria's eyes upon me, a silent observer in the kitchen's warm embrace. There was an unmistakable quality in the way he gazed at me. His demeanor carried a hint of intrigue, a subtle shift from the usual indifference that cloaked him. It felt as though he was observing my every action. Yet, within me, there also stirred a rising tide of unease. Adrian's gaze, reminiscent of the previous night, was fixed on me once more. This dawn. Yet, this time, there was an unusual fervor in them. I observed it. His gaze wasn't merely fixed on me, it was sweeping over me, taking in every detail. They were outlining the contours of my form. And I could sense it lingering for just a few moments. I attempted to brush off his gaze, yet I could feel that he had sensed the unease lurking within me. My heart began to race, yet I fought to maintain my composure, striving to present an image of perfect normalcy. Adrian's demeanor had transformed as well. Typically, he exuded a relaxed demeanor, radiating calmness and cheerfulness in my presence. But this morning, there was a line he had drawn, a distance that felt palpable. Yet, it felt as though he was on a quest for the bravery to delicately traverse it. His eyes, glimmering in the morning light, seemed to gaze at me as if he had a tale waiting to be told. Yet, I found myself unable to pinpoint exactly what it was. With a gentle motion, I set the pancakes upon a plate and offered it to him, a simple yet heartfelt gesture. "Relish it," I remarked with a hint of melancholy. As Adrian lifted the plate, his hands clasped it for just a heartbeat, and our eyes locked once more in a brief, electric exchange. It seemed as though he was searching for a hidden truth within me. I caught a glimpse of the anxious flicker in my own gaze, yet Adrian remained silent, his lips sealed tight. He simply took his seat at the table during breakfast. He never met my gaze, not even once, yet, with every shift of my movement, his eyes would dart down from the ceiling, returning to me with that unique intensity once more. It felt as if he was acutely attuned to every little action I took. This was an encounter unlike any we had ever faced. The chaos within. I cultivated something deep within, softly spoken. "It's time to unravel this mystery without delay." Yet, I remained in the dark about the full meaning of it all. It was the way Adrian's glances and behavior wove a tapestry of deep emotional confusion within me. Now, in the kitchen, enveloped by the warm aroma of pancakes, that strange tension lingered like an unspoken story waiting to unfold. A whisper of something was awakening within me, yet I held it at bay. I felt the weight of Adrian's gaze upon me, yet my sole focus was on fulfilling my role as a mother. This morning was meant to be a simple affair, just breakfast, yet the warmth and unease wove through me as the sunlight gently made its entrance. They seemed to embody a realm beyond the ordinary. As the evening drew near, the gentle pull of slumber began to settle upon my eyelids. Something had shifted in the air. A sensation washed over me, elusive and mysterious, leaving me to ponder its true nature. As the night deepened, the solitude in my room became more palpable, yet this time, there was a noticeable change in Adrian's demeanor. It felt as though we were transforming into something entirely new. As I gently slipped into slumber, I felt the rhythm of my eyelids fluttering open and closed, a dance that continued throughout the night. A sensation stirred within me, an unshakable anticipation, yet the nature of what was approaching remained a mystery. Out of nowhere, a sound pierced the silence. My eyes fluttered open in the dark room. A shadow danced in the dim light, shifting and swirling with a life of its own. Gradually, a stirring deep within me began to quiver. In a moment of surprise, the world around me became a haze. For a fleeting moment, I hesitated, but then clarity struck me. That shadow belonged to Adrian. He entered the room, slipping through the slightly ajar door. My eyes flew open, and my heart raced as I found my son standing in my room in the dead of night. Even though I was meant to be lost in slumber, Adrian's eyes sparkled in the shadows with a fervor that echoed the essence of the night. For a fleeting moment, I attempted to steady my gaze, grappling with the question of what I was meant to do amidst the swirling confusion. Within me, a crescendo of sound swelled and swelled. Adrian's presence in my room at this hour was peculiar, yet it resonated like a distant echo from another time. This time, however, it unfolded in a way that was unlike any before. Those eyes of his. His presence. The path ahead. He drew nearer, closing the distance between us. Every element held significance. Adrian ventured forward, each step a whisper of anticipation. Onward. He drew nearer, and in the dim glow that remained, the moonlight revealed his face to me just a bit more distinctly. His eyes held a determination I had never witnessed before, as if they were peering deep into the heart of something profound. Yelled at me, "Don't cease it." In that fleeting moment, Adrian leaned in, his lips brushing against mine with an unexpected intensity. In a fleeting moment, everything unfolded in an instant. All was still, as if time itself had come to a halt. Remained motionless. In that moment, it seemed as though the entire world was whirling around me, yet I remained perfectly still. My son, just a step away, leaned in and placed a kiss on my lips, and in that moment, all my emotions intertwined. This was not an occurrence a mother anticipates from her child in such a moment. It stirred within me, causing my heart to race with an untamed fervor. I swiftly pulled away and attempted to push him back. Absolutely not. I spoke, breathless, as my words seemed to dissolve into the air like a fleeting whisper. Adrian withdrew, a hint of what appeared to be disappointment flickering in his gaze, yet he remained steadfast, standing tall in the room. "Adrian, this path is not the one to take, please reconsider." This voice of mine quivered with emotion. My mind whirled. And my body was drenched in perspiration. The emotions within me surged as my son approached in that manner. What a chilling and intricate experience it was. Yet, I couldn't overlook the captivating attention he was directing my way. Yet, this felt all wrong. I was destined to embrace the role of a mother for all eternity. Indeed. The piercing look in my son's eyes, a look unlike any I had encountered before. It stirred my very core. My heart raced fiercely, as if it were on the brink of exploding. Yet, I understood that I needed to gather my strength. Adrian paused, taking a step back to gather his thoughts. He held his tongue, allowing the stillness to envelop him, as the silence deepened within the shadows. Then Adrian drew nearer, and once more, he pressed his lips against mine in a tender kiss. His hands glided down from my neck, first resting at my waist, then exploring my hips. Regardless of how often I urged myself to cease. That night, I found myself unable to resist. Whatever transpired had already unfolded. As the morning light crept in, I found myself awakening, grappling with the remnants of the night before. Adrian was nowhere to be found by my side. There I stood, solitary in the chamber. I inhaled deeply, seeking to gather my thoughts and regain my composure. Silently, I stepped out of the house, leaving behind unspoken words. In my gaze lingered a profound fatigue, while my heart felt an echoing void. My steps were burdened, each one echoing the weight of my uncertainty as I battled through the shadows. Deep within, the one truth I held was a burning desire to unravel the mysteries of what had transpired. I found myself pondering the depths of my emotions. Yet, with each tick of the clock, the tapestry of events unraveled into a web of increasing complexity. That night, the events unfolded like whispers in the dark, each moment slipping away into the shadows. All was shrouded in a haze of enchantment. So entwined are my eyes in their performance. My heart raced with anticipation. Yet, I departed the house in silence, not uttering a single word. In the midst of turmoil, I endeavored to conceal the events that transpired between Adrian and myself. As I grappled with my feelings, I made the choice to bury my emotions, seeking to wipe the slate clean. Yet, a part of me was fracturing. I found myself in a moment of deep reflection. What was it that left me feeling so tangled up inside? In the midst of this chaos, I found myself adrift, as if the world around me had spun into a whirlwind of confusion. My child. My son had transformed beyond the mere name of a Cald. But was I still perceiving him as a Cald? Was I deceiving my own heart? What path should I take?